Hi, everyone. This is Miss Rapp, and today we are doing Unit 5, Lesson 5. Unit 5, Lesson 5. This is going to be solving equations using the distributive property. So, everyone, if you've noticed, all of these have been solving equations. So far in Unit 5, it's just been solving equations, and then every lesson is a different part of solving equations. So today is going to be the distributive property. So let's get started. We have about 12 examples to go through. So I am going to use the straightforward solving method. As always, you can use whatever strategy you want. I'm sure by now you have a strategy that you like. And notice that these are all equal to 0. Okay, so step 1, we're going to need to combine all my like terms. So this is going to be 4 times x, 4 times -2. So you distribute. So the 4 goes to each term in the parentheses. So this becomes 4x minus 8, because 4 times -2 is -8, plus 12 equals 0. So now I'm going to combine like terms. Because -8 plus 12 is +4. I want to get rid of that +4, so I'm going to minus 4. I'll divide by 4, and -4 over 4 is x equals -1. Okay, let's try number 2. So this looks like you're supposed to distribute, but you're actually not allowed to distribute into absolute value. So I'll write that. You can't distribute into absolute value, so we're kind of going to solve around it. So I'm going to minus 15 on both sides, because that's going to be my normal first step. This x minus 5 on the inside will be our last step. So our last step is going to be adding 5, but it's stuck in the bars right now. So I'm going to divide by -3, and I get x minus 5 equals +5. So this is where we break it up. So now I get x minus 5 equals plus or minus 5. The bars are now gone. So here's how I did that. I cover this up. Some number has an absolute value of 5. Well, I know that's just going to be plus or minus 5. So now I have 2 equations. So I'm still going to get 2 answers, but they're going to be different. So I told you the last step was adding 5 on both sides, and here's that last step. So I get x equals 10, and then x equals 0. This is a good place to pause. Okay, let's try number 3. So right here, can't distribute into something squared. So that's my little note right there. So I'm going to do exactly what I did on problem 2, work around the squared. And so my last step will be dealing with that x minus 6. So my first step is to add 16. I'll divide by -4. I get x minus 6 squared equals -4. I go to square root that. I can't square root a negative, everyone, so it's actually no solution. Okay, so once again, this was a no solution because as I was doing my work, I went to square root a negative, which means no solution. Okay, let's try this one. These are super funky looking, but we can do them. So see how there's an x minus 4 in the exponent? That will be the last thing I deal with. So I'm going to deal with everything around this. I'm going to get that 2 by itself as much as possible, and then I'll deal with that power. So now this is 4 times, so I'm going to divide. Remember, we're doing PEMDAS backwards. Okay. This is a good place to pause. Take your time. And here's where I'll use the cover-up method again, everyone. Some number to the 2 to the power of some number is 8. 2 to the power of some number is 8. Well, I know that 2 to the power of 3 is 8. So I want x minus 4 to equal 3. Because I know if this spot equals 3, we're good to go. Well, what value of x is going to get me 3? Oh, well, 7. And that makes sense because 7 minus 4 is 3. 2 to the power of 3 is 8. This is where we're really throwing all of our skills together, everyone, and we're still practicing. So make sure you're getting all your independent practice done. Okay, moving on. Okay, step 1. Distribute. Distribute means multiplication. Watch your signs. Negative 7 times x is negative 7x. Negative 7 times 3 is negative 21. Now combine like terms. Negative 21 plus 14. I'm adding, but I'm still in the negative zone. And negative 7. I'm going to add 7 on both sides. Let's start isolating that 7x. Remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. And negative 1. And notice, everyone, we do a linear, an absolute value, a quadratic, an exponential every set. And that's very intentional. Okay, let's try number 6. I'm going to deal with this x plus 6 last because it's stuck in the bars. Okay, I have the absolute value, something equals a negative. This is looking a little sketchy because of this positive and negative. Let's see if we can move forward. So I cover it up. Something has an absolute value of negative 5. What numbers can I plug in underneath my finger and get negative 5 as the answer? None. There is nothing that would make this true. No solution. So guys, make sure you're going slow. Don't be tricked. Okay, number 7, this quadratic. Once again, I cannot distribute. So I'm going to work around that squared. And when I say work around it, I mean I'm going to do everything but deal with the x plus 7. So like, for example, I'll divide by 3. 3 over 3 is 1. Okay. I've done 2 steps. Here comes my third. And then you get, so this square rooting gets rid of the square. This square root gets rid of the square. So I'm left with x plus 7. Well, the square root of 9 is plus minus 3. I now have 2 equations. X plus 7 equals 3. X plus 7 equals negative 3. The only thing that changes is the signs. And I told everyone this would be my last step, and it is. I get x equals negative 4. X equals negative 10. Lovely. Make sure you can see all that. Here's the hint. Anytime there's an operation inside of the parentheses or inside of the bars, this is for quadratics and absolute value and exponential, your last step will be dealing with this. The reason that doesn't happen in linear is because with linear, you can actually distribute and move forward. With all 3 of these, you actually have to keep working backwards and undoing the operation. So when I say undoing the operations, I mean, instead of subtracting 45, we're going to undo that operation by adding 45. Divide by negative 5. A lot of students would make this negative 15. You cannot because of the power. Okay, so let's cover up. So guys, I use a lot of different strategies. 3 to some power is -9. 3 to some power is -9. Well, I know that 3 squared is +9. And some people might even think, oh, well, what if I did 3 to the -2? No, that doesn't get me -9. I'll never be able to get a negative using an exponent. So it is no solution. This is algebra at its core. When people talk about, algebra solving for x, this is what they're talking about. Okay, let's move on. We have 4 more problems left. A linear, an absolute value, a quadratic, and an exponential. Very intentional. Okay, linear, I can distribute. -8 times x is -8x. -8 times +5 is -40. We do not do double signs. We do not do double signs. We try to avoid that as much as possible. It just leads to confusion. -40 plus 12 is going to be -28. Let's get that x by itself. -4 plus 28 is +24. Divided by -8, x equals -3. Okay, let's try number 10. Remember, you cannot distribute in, so I'm going to work around. So 17 plus 13 is going to give me 30. Divide by 6 because I'm working around the bar. 6 over 6 is 1. Okay, remember, I cover this up. Some number has an absolute value of +5. Oh, well, my options are going to be +5 and -5, so I break it up. That is my setup. If you're really confused by this, take a moment, pause, and rewind. There are 3 other examples like number 10. So I'm going to -4, I get x equals 1. And when I -4 over here, I get x equals -9. Whoops, I just drew on my table. Okay, take a moment, see if you have any questions. Remember, highlight and star anything you have questions on, write them in the video check-in. Okay, let's try number 11. I cannot distribute into the square, so I'm going to work around it. And I'll divide by -7. Dividing this positive by a negative is warning me that I probably won't be able to move forward. And I'm correct, because when I go to square root this, can't square root a negative, no solution. There is no value of x that will make the left side equal to 7. There is no value of x that I can plug in right here out of any number in the world. Fractions, positives, negatives, decimals, whatever, that will get me 7. Pretty neat. Okay, let's try our last problem. I'm going to add 30. I'm going to work around my 5 to the power of x minus 2. That's going to be 75. Divide by 3. 5 to the power of x minus 2 equals 25. 5 to the power of something is 25. Everyone in their head knows, oh, well, I want to be 5 squared because 5 squared is 25. So then I set x minus 2 equal to 2, and I add 2 to both sides, and I get x equals 4. Because if I plug in a 4, 4 minus 2 is 2, 5 squared is 25. Okay, everyone, that was Unit 5, Lesson 5. Have a great day. There is about, how many more lessons left? There's 2 more videos after this. Please do the video check-in. Have a great day.